in maybe in F&B or hospitality, they're always a bit slower in terms of integrating technology. So I'm not quite familiar how they're using AI in their processing. So that's also an area would be harder for me to comment or provide a lot of insight.
Okay, is there so in the workspaces that you have been in, is there a lot of changes in terms when it comes to AI or not so much? You were saying F&B and health, right?
Hospitality.
Hospitality, not so much.
And I think in the SME spaces, I
Mm-hmm.
think these two industry they're still very much in a firefighting mode, and business has
Ah,
not been good.
I agree.
COVID didn't help, but there were a lot of government funding, so it kind of helped them through that period. But
Mm.
after COVID, there were no funding, and GST increased 2 years in a row. Consumer behavior changing, people
Mm.
going out less, or they're
Mm.
worried about job stability or spending less. So it's an industry that they're struggling a lot, and certainly in Singapore. And then you have the manpower issues. They're in a space whereby they're thinking how to survive,
Mm.
um, how to get ahead,
Mm.
and then how can they sustain their business in the long term.
Mm. So right now, that is the crisis that not try that is a challenge that those industries are facing, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. I think when you said crisis, yeah, they're in a crisis. They're trying to see how can they get out of it. How can
Challenge.
Yeah, yes,
But
yes,
so,
and
okay, I want to clarify whatever that you've just shared is okay to be shared in the public space, or
I think so.
okay,
I think
okay,
yeah, it's not unknown, and there's been
it's
a
not a
lot of
secret.
actually yeah, there's been a lot of articles about
F and
nightlife,
B. Mm,
F&B,
mm,
vibrancy, changes of
mm,
consumer behavior, and
mm,
people know that going home at 2 a.m. in the morning is very expensive, because it's 50, 60, $70. So people try to avoid that. So they stay home. Alcohol, it's very expensive to consume in public spaces or in a restaurant. So, I think all of these have changed the consumer behavior.
mm. Okay, so maybe for this topic, if let's say AI doesn't really affect the industries that you are currently in or the workspaces that you're currently in, specifically hospitality, F&B, then we can talk a little bit also about how what kind of challenges are they facing now instead of AI. Like you said, it's a lot about consumer change, behavior in consumer changes. COVID is already over, but I think some of the behaviors that um, COVID kind of kick-started in us, like home parties, house parties. It
Correct.
wasn't so much a thing in the past, right? We would all gather in a public space like a restaurant or a pub or wherever. But now, after COVID specifically, I think house parties became a thing.
Yes, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
especially
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Because in Singapore, people
especially.
live in very confined or smaller places. So, the idea is, hey, if we meet outside. We meet at a
Mm,
restaurant, right? Because there's
mm,
more spaces. But
mm,
COVID has changed that behavior. We make space, we rearrange our home so that we have workspace, we can work from home, and we can house people, and then people see that, hey, that works, right? People can come to
mm.
my house and enjoy a meal or drinks together, at a much lower cost.
Yes, at a much lower cost. And if you don't mind your friends sleeping over, sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, okay, you're so drunk, you just sleep on the sofa. You don't need to, you can go home tomorrow."
Yes, yes, yes.